Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream. It is Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. For those of you who are new to the group, welcome. We are the oldest, largest, first only, and remaining true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. That means two things. First and foremost, whether you realize this or not, the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans lies at the core of this entire problem. Unless and until we get this right restored, we're going to be begging Joe Biden or the next president forever to do nice things for us. And what we'll get is the nonsense that we've been watching over the past 3.5 years. Second thing we're fighting for is student loan cancellation by executive order. That whole conversation started on this group with our petition, which now is at 1.2 million signatures nearly. So we're thrilled. We're glad that you found us. And I will just say, guys, we are a truly grassroots group. And the only way that we're going to grow is by your word of mouth. That is so important, guys. 95, 98, 99, maybe even percent of the media is against us. These are stories. All the stories that you see in the media are typically seeded and written by friends of our opposition. That's the way that goes, guys. We are the only people on our side. So we are all we've got in many ways. But at the same time, we are really all that we need. But the people on this group have to get way more active. We came very close to finally getting the leverage of bankruptcy return last session. Very close. But at the last minute, the rug got pulled out from under us, and I can only imagine what would have happened if we would have put significantly more pressure on Congress and the president, by the way. That's another story. So a couple of announcements. I've got to lead with a pitch for donations, guys. Please donate if you can. You know the drill. Currently, we need, I think, 31 or 2 people to donate $20 this week. So shouldn't be a big deal, guys. Please just do it so I can shut up about it and we can focus on the fight at hand. I suck at fundraising, so just please help if you would. One kind of important story that happened on student loans over the past couple days. A lawsuit and this kind of leads into the topic for tonight. A lawsuit filed by the Cato Institute and also the Mackinac Center, 2 very conservative right-wing think tanks in Washington, D.C. They sued to stop Joe Biden's SAVE program. It's the new income-driven repayment plan that Biden is trying to roll out. And I'm just going to put that out there. That lawsuit was yesterday dismissed for lack of standing. And the reason this is important is because if you've been paying attention to the student loan issue at all, and we've been living it and breathing it for 18 long years now, you can see a very well-defined, very mature theme. And that is that the Republicans are against us and the Democrats are for us. We've seen it going back to 2006 when the Democrats first promised to return bankruptcy rights to student loans. And we've seen it ever since, guys. It's a good cop, bad cop thing. It's a white hat, black hat thing where the Democrats have the white hat, the Republicans have the black hat. That's not always true, but that is the large majority of all the media that you see around this topic, all the actions that we see taken by members of Congress and others, all crystallize that theme in the public's mind. And, I have to say, lawsuits like what we saw against our student loan cancellation by executive order from all down the line Republican conservative groups certainly bear that out. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight's topic, I want to dig a little deeper into that narrative, if I could. And this is what you really need to understand. What we have found over 18 years, 18 very long years, at least twice during that time, the Democrats held both the Senate and the House, and all three, the trifecta, and the presidency. Barack Obama's first term, Joe Biden's first term. Similarly, the Republicans held the trifecta, that is the Senate, the House, and the presidency, at least once, right? Donald Trump's first term, first 2 years in office. So here's what you need to know, guys. It's a uniparty thing. It is a uniparty thing. Both parties, when it comes right down to it, they both serve to perpetuate this loan scam against us, against me, against you. Both parties do. And I know there's probably a lot of Democrats out there saying, how could you say such terrible things about Democrats? Guys, we've seen it with our own eyes. And this is not meant to be vote for Republicans, don't vote for Democrats thing. We're a fiercely nonpartisan group, guys. We hate both parties, quite frankly, and for very good reason. So I could go on and on about how the Republicans suck, but I hopefully I don't really need to. Just read the new media, read everything they do and say. And it's pretty obvious that certainly rhetorically, they're totally against us. But guys, that whole narrative is bullshit. We're talking about a uniparty thing here, guys. We truly are. Because when the Democrats held power, Barack Obama's very first term in office, the first thing that they said they were going to do is return bankruptcy protections to student loans. And lo and behold, a bill came up in 2008 that would have returned bankruptcy to private student loans. So not federal student loans, private student loans. And at the very last minute, the blue dog Democrats, these are the banking friendly, some people call them centrists, but they're not centrists. They're fighting for the oligarchy. They're fighting for the money. The blue dog Democrats stood up and as a subgroup within the Democratic Party killed an amendment that would have returned bankruptcy rights to private student loans. And so that happened. Now, at the time, we were like, well, okay, the Democrats are trying at least. That was when this group was only like 2 years old. This group is no longer 2 years old, guys. This group is now over 18. In fact, over 18 and a half years old now. And we have seen every trick in the book brought out against us, sometimes blatantly, sometimes very subtly. And last congressional session was a perfect example of that. So finally, after 12 years of, 10 years, certainly. 12 years of the Democrats not having the trifecta. They finally got the trifecta back in 2020. And in 2020, at that point, they had been the DNC had been promising to return bankruptcy rights to student loans since 2016. So it was supposed to be a slam dunk that the Democrats were finally going to return bankruptcy rights to student loans. We had a great bill in the Senate. Dick Durbin, it was bipartisan. Josh Hawley, John Cornyn, Dick Durbin, two Republicans and a Democrat were sponsoring this legislation. The Democrat was the prime co-sponsor, and Dick Durbin controlled the Senate Judiciary Committee. We had a great bankruptcy bill. Would have returned limited, but with a 10-year waiting period, but would return essentially standard bankruptcy rights to federal student loan borrowers with a 10-year waiting period. There was also a very modest, probably wouldn't have ever even been enforced, clawback clause, whereby the colleges would have been, at least on paper, on the hook to reimburse the Department of Education of up to half, and that's on a sliding scale, so it would have been far less than half for most schools. Could have been nothing for many schools. Reimburse the Department of Education up to half of the original amount borrowed. So that would have been, even if they wouldn't have enforced it, it would have been a very small amount of money compared to what the colleges have brought in over many years and decades. And it was a great bill. Bipartisan. Dick Durbin had all the votes that he needed to get it through the committee in the Senate, get it up through a full vote, assuming The Democrats voted along party lines. But ladies and gentlemen, we will never know because Dick Durbin decided not to advance this legislation. He did not even put it up for a vote out of committee. So, ladies and gentlemen, student loan borrowers have essentially no party. And I know, I understand. I get all the... But wait, didn't Biden cancel $116 billion in student loans in his first 2.5 years in office? Yeah, that's true, guys. These were loans that were already scheduled to be canceled through existing income-driven repayment programs. So should he get any credit for actually doing it? In my opinion, no. But even putting that completely aside for a moment, let's look at the facts. In 2.5 years, typically, not only is $250 billion in interest added onto the federal student loan tab, nearly $250 billion is added on in new loan originations. So every 2.5 years, the federal student loan portfolio grows by nearly $500 billion. So canceling $116 billion during the same time period, that would still lead to the growth of the federal student loan program of $372 billion every 2.5 years, or $1.5 trillion over 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the stuff that we've been seeing Biden do, it's all been largely performative. And by the way, to those few of you who have actually managed to get your loans canceled through any of the income-driven repayment plans, congratulations. Obviously, you must be thrilled. You represent not even 2% of all student loan borrowers, but, good for you. We're glad. And I should also mention, this is just an interesting aside. It seems to me, we just heard about another one of our members getting their loans canceled. It seems to me that among the people in our group who are most active in our group, an extraordinarily high percentage of them are getting their loans canceled through various income-driven repayment plans. I think Lisa Ansell probably deserves quite a bit of credit for that because she's been giving one-on-one consultations to people and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's just kind of a head scratcher, isn't it? Anyways, I can't draw any conclusions from the scarce set of data that we do have, but kind of interesting. But it's a moonwalk, guys, and not the Neil Armstrong kind. It's the Michael Jackson kind of moonwalk. The Democrats are doing everything they can do to make it look like they are trying. But as last congressional session evidenced, clearly demonstrated beyond any shadow of a doubt, when push comes to shove and the most important things are on the table, and the most important thing is getting the leverage of bankruptcy rights back. The founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy rights in the Constitution, guys. It is the stripping of bankruptcy rights from these loans that it lies at the cornerstone of everything. It's what's allowed the entire lending system to blow up and go completely off the rails. And it's the reason that our student loan debt has exploded from probably $150 billion at the beginning of the century to getting on towards $2 trillion today. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy, guys. Very few people will ultimately have to file when we get the right return. But having the leverage of bankruptcy, everything else rests upon that. So if you're new to the group, just hear me now and believe me later now, maybe. But whatever you want to see happen with your student loans, we have got to get the right of bankruptcy, the threat, the leverage of bankruptcy back on our side as it exists for all other loans, all other borrowers in this country. That is the most important thing that I'll tell you tonight. So guys, I say don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't buy into the whole uniparty nonsense, D's versus R's, all that bullshit. It's all bullshit, guys. We're talking about, and maybe you want to call it the deep state, maybe whatever you want to call it. I would almost call it a class war at this point. The people, the wealthy interests who are making money off of this scam are doing everything they can do behind the scenes, sometimes in front of the scenes, to keep this lending scam going. People like many Republicans that I could mention, but just interestingly, among the Democrats, people like Nancy Pelosi and Susan Rice. And I would say Joe Biden himself. Remember before the presidential election, Joe Biden goes, yeah, I'm going to eliminate your student loans if you earn less than $125,000 a year. So, yeah. Oh, and then on top of that, I'm going to do $10,000 per borrower across the board. And then after the election, he goes, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And then finally, we got a grudging, feckless, I think probably designed to be defeated in the courts, loan cancellation, which was head scratching, by the way. The law that they based that on was just highly inappropriate. That's another story. We got this lame, feeble attempt from Biden, probably knowing that it would be struck down by the courts. So, guys, I would just only say, don't buy the bullshit. If you have student loans and you actually want to see the student loan problem solved in your natural lifetime, as I very much do, being as how I've spent the majority of my adult lifetime trapped under these loans. I'm a defaulted student loan borrower, by the way. If you actually not pretend want to see this problem solved, you got to be smarter. You can't just vote blue no matter who, and you just can't do that. More than anything, I would say you've got to help us fight. Both parties are against us, ladies and gentlemen, whether they admit it or not. And all the friendly sounding rhetoric in the world, all the gaslighting of us by these blue no matter who Democratic operatives on Twitter, all the mainstream media push, all that is not going to change what I just told you here tonight. When things get important, when it comes time to actually solve the student loan problem, the Democrats have demonstrated that they are not on our side, but rather that they are pimping us for votes. Now, again, I'm not saying run out and vote for fucking the Republicans. Obviously, that's stupid. But guys, if you care about this issue, guard your vote jealously and don't be sucked into the rhetoric because it's just all fucking nonsense. More than anything, I tell you, this problem is not going to get solved absent us by the D's or the R's. This problem will absolutely get perpetuated for the rest of our natural lives if we let them. We cannot let them. So if you're new to the group, or maybe even if you're not, maybe you're wondering, well, what can I do? What can I do? You can do a lot. This system is failed. And one small nudge from the right person at the right time, in the right place, in the right setting, right situation can bring this whole house of cards down. So I would say if you want to do something meaningful and a very efficient use of your time, is to start by doing our daily actions. And let me dial that in for you. We do daily actions every single day. I just updated our list. You can see it right there. Do our daily actions. It's the least that you could do. And it is the most effective thing. And it is a nuclear strong hammer when even 10% of the people on our group do that. If even 10% of the people in our group are doing our daily actions, that'd be 140,000 people a day, overwhelming the Twitter accounts, overwhelming the phone lines in Washington, D.C. Yeah, we would have this problem licked in a matter of weeks or months if even 10% of the people in our group are doing our daily actions. Beyond that, right now, we need everyone to get us into a meeting, get us, studentloanjustice.org, into a meeting with your member of the House of Representatives. We don't care if they're D's or they're R's. We will talk to any of them. Get us into a meeting with them. We can do most or all of the talking. Just follow the instructions on that thing hovering below me, the scrolling chyron below me. Get us into a meeting. Ask specifically to get us to meet with their judiciary staffer. Tell them you want to bring somebody from Student Loan Justice in, and I or one of our other resident experts here, resident citizen experts on this group, will happily do most or all of the talking if we need to. We're trying to make it very easy for you. We shouldn't have to, though. These are your loans, and this is your fight, and this is your problem. This is your livelihood on the line here. So you should take that very seriously because this is your battle. And none of us can pull your weight for you. This is a working, fighting group. If you want to get baffled with bullshit and you want to get smoke blown up your ass and you want to get wined and dined, go see one of the other fake fucking AstroTurf groups out there who are pretending to fight this fight. They're not fighting this fight. They're pimping this fight. They're making too much money on this fight to actually want to solve this problem. Go there. If you have no intentions of helping us and fighting this battle shoulder to shoulder with us, go. Just go. There's the door. You're bad karma. We don't want you here. To everybody else who's actually helping us fight, you know I salute you. We are the tip of the spear. We are the motivating force in the nation for student loan borrowers. We're it, guys. If there was another group out there that was doing what we're doing and getting the results that we're getting, I would join that group. There's not. It's us. So please don't forget that. Help us fight this fight. It feels good. It's cathartic. All we do is tell the truth, no matter who it offends, by the way. We don't care if we offend Democrats or Republicans. We don't care about any of that nonsense. All we care about is solving the student loan problem. We are well on our way. The only thing we're missing are committed people like, hopefully, you. So I've got to cut it tonight, but I hope what I've said tonight resonates with you a little bit. This battle is not going away. Apparently, if the Democrats can, they will string this thing out through the next election because they want to do next election what they did to us last election. Be smarter than that. Help us fight. Help us get this problem actually, not fake, actually, not pretend, actually solved. So I got to get ready for another meeting. But good luck doing our daily actions. Good luck getting that meeting scheduled with your House rep, hopefully their judiciary staffer. Good luck. Godspeed. See you tomorrow. God bless everyone.